I'll be delighted to introduce my painting Plantation, which was painted in 2014. And it's from a series of paintings I made all about these dark outside spaces. I happen to know where these trees come from. It's from a place in France that we often go on holiday in. But they are just settings for an event that's happening that even I, as the artist, I'm not quite sure what's going on. And the way I start to make paintings, I collect lots of imagery from multiple sources, from the internet, from books, from photographs I've made, and I make a collage on a computer, and I make this virtual world, which I then paint up into this scene. So I've collected imagery from multiple sources. This part of the painting here was made from a 1980s book on Berlin, and someone was being arrested by a German policeman. This face didn't belong to the source material. He came from a World War II photograph of a Japanese prisoner of war. And then the balloons I photographed myself. This guy came from a crazy party. And by putting all the elements together, a strange narrative evolves, which even I'm not quite sure about. But when I start the painting, it's all about the dynamic of the shapes that are happening, all the actions happening over here. And you, as the viewer, are you participating in this strange party, stroke arrest, stroke fight? Are you involved in it, or are you controlling it? Are you choreographing it, or are you the next victim in the painting? I've been enjoying being part of the European art scene for a few years now. This is probably one of the most exciting moments because through making painting, I've found myself in the Czech Republic, in Ostrava, in a collection of a fantastic Czech collector. And I'm seeing the work in the context of all these paintings. I know some of the artists in this show, and I've visited their studios. I've yet to go to Cluj in Romania, but I've been to Berlin and seen Martin Eder's painting and his studio and things like that. And I've become quite aware of being part of something. But also, because I'm English, I feel quite far away from it. I feel almost like an outsider, which is fine. I'm quite happy to be that almost cult artist outside of a scene that everyone is talking about. When a lot of painters came over from Romania a few years ago, they created a collector base in my country that wasn't so overt before. It was as if the collectors in England still wanted to buy YBAs and that kind of work that Saatchi was showing in the 90s. And for painters, it was a bit more difficult, especially figurative painters. And I made a living as a portrait painter. That's how I did it. But I made these other works on the side. And it took a long time to become part of this movement through this swell of interest that came from the Leipzig School, the former Eastern European countries, such as Romania that I've mentioned. And through that, we're here, basically. Yeah.